Hi, so this is me, Simon, again. This is my second video. I just wanted to make a quick one real quick and like usual, not take up a whole lot of your time, but just make like maybe a couple of good points that could possibly stick with you. And one of them is about the censorship going on right now in America. Basically, whatever your political views are, or whatever your feelings are, or whatever your thoughts or feelings are, is like more and more starting to not, I don't know if you want to call it, it's being silenced more, or there's pressure being put on it for it to, for you to get more hesitant, more nervous, more scared, more worried, whatever they can to get you to not speak up. And it's like a major factor in everything that's going on right now. Basically, they have a specific narrative that they need all of us to follow. And so any free thought or any free conversation is basically a risk, or it's a potential liability. Because if people are freely expressing themselves and freely being able to say their opinion, then what's to stop them from saying the truth? And that's like I said, a liability. The truth is their biggest liability right now. And when I say they, I mean anybody standing in the way of our freedom as Americans, or our right to vote, or our right to free speech, or our right to free thought. And that is what's being attacked right now more than anything, because they have so much to cover up. And if you can't see that, then you're blind. Like, just watch any news channel, watch any. Why does YouTube all of a sudden, for years and years, as long as any of us can remember, you can find any video on YouTube about any conspiracy, how to make meth, how to make any heroin, how to form a coup, like the Anarchy's cookbook, you name it. Like, there is everything about demonology, spirituality, like how to transcend your body and astral project. But the second you say one thing about coronavirus, or the election being fraudulent, or even say the word dominion, your video gets taken down like within seconds. Now, why is that? Does that even spark the question of why is that? What possibly could be the reason for that? I would like to talk about it, but guess what? We can't talk about it. And if you do, you'll notice you instantly are met with opposition, whether you're at work, or whether you're at school, or whether anywhere. If you're within earshot of anyone that is obviously going along with that agenda, they basically know that they are to target you, basically. And if they feel they can't make it have an effect on you with just themselves, and they go grab more people. I've had it happen to me. I've talked to countless people that have had it happen to them. It happens at my work. Basically, they continue to force their narrative, their explanation of everything, and I mean the coronavirus, everything from the election to the riots to Black Lives Matters to everything going on right now. There is a specific narrative that it supposedly explains all of it, right? But the second you start unpacking any of it, the second you start peeling back the layers on any of it, it becomes so blatantly obvious that you're dealing with deception or lies or something. You might not be 100% clear on what that necessarily is, but you can obviously tell they're trying to hide something, cover something, stop something. Now, what could that possibly be, right? What could that possibly? They're trying to snuff the truth out of an entire country, not just America. If you remember, there was a March for Truth in March 1st, 2020. Germany had a March for Truth. 17,000 people marched, and they called themselves the end of the pandemic. They were the end of the pandemic. Like, that gives me chills just thinking about it. People actually standing up for what they know is fucking right. and not just giving into the pressure, not just giving into people pressuring you and bullying you. Like, what is that? Is that that is not ever how this country has been. And why start now? Because other people are fucking scared? Other people are worried about what they stand to lose? What about us just trying to live our life? What about us just trying to have civil society? Us just trying to wake up every day, go to work, and just maintain a normal life? What about that? That doesn't matter, because we're not the 1%. We're not the mega rich conglomerates that their opinions must be the only ones that matter, because us little peons, obviously, the majority, which without us, they have no power, which is something we don't talk about often. It's easy for us to feel like they have all the power, they have all the control, they have all the resources, all the yada, yada, yada. We outnumber them 1,000,000 to 1. Think about that. 1,000,000 to 1. Without all of us getting up and going to work every day, this country falls apart at the seams, right? So that means all those 1%ers at the top, all of a sudden their wheels to their big money-making machines stop turning. And you know what I mean? Like, they are not in control. We let them. You know what I mean? They are elected officials. They are not. They act like they're their own class of citizen. That's bullshit. They're not. They're not their own class of citizen. They're elected officials that are meant to serve the public. That's why it's called a public office. If we have any questions about anything, if you're in a public office, you have to open up all your books and show it to anybody that wants to see it. Anyone. That's the whole nature of a government. It's to execute the will of the people. But now it's turning into, obviously, as you can see, one big cover-up after another. And all they have now is their resources, their media, their influence, that list I named, but it's actually a pretty short list. We have way more than they're more scared of us than we should ever be of them. Even with all the technology and all of that, it doesn't matter. When we outnumber you 1,000,000 to 1, their only hope is to divide us, to separate us off into as many small groups as possible, to keep us fighting amongst ourselves, bickering amongst ourselves, squabbling amongst ourselves, hating each other, like on the verge of a race war. For what? To cover up their bullshit. And we're not even allowed to fucking talk about it. So I say fuck that. And I say, as an American, when people try to force you to do something against your will, that is, in my eyes, just an immediate signal to do the opposite. I don't know if that's in any of you, but it's like, it's just something I cannot stomach. People enforcing and imposing their will on other people that have nothing to do with them, for one, and for two, it's ridiculous to even entertain the idea of being able to control another person, let alone control an entire society, let alone control an entire state, let alone an entire country. And that is what's going on right now, because you, all of us, even me, I'm guilty of it too, are not saying anything. We're just letting it happen. We're giving into the fear, we're giving into the pressure, we're giving into all of it. Because why? At least put up a fight. If they're going to win, they win. Oh well. But at least you said your piece. At least you don't have any regrets now. At least you don't have to look back and be like, oh man, I wish I would have said something back then. Now we're just a communist country like everyone else. Fuck that. Say something now. That's my 2 cents. Sorry, I'm getting angry, but I had to say something. Thank you. God bless.